I've made it very clear this offseason that I feel the Warriors are going extremely slept on when it comes to their title chances. That didn't change last night in their first preseason game. In fact, I am more confident than ever, and they might have just found their third splash brother. The season is just around the corner. We have tons of content coming out, so trust me, you're gonna want to be subscribed and have notifications on. As always, we're going for 69 likes on today's video, and let's get into this. I don't think there's a team I'm going to be watching more of this season than the Warriors. There's just so many interesting storylines to follow. This is a team that dominated the mid-2010s and really changed the game as we know it, led by the Splash Brothers and Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, as well as their defensive anchor Draymond Green. Kevin Durant ended up joining the bandwagon for 2 seasons, but he is now in Brooklyn. Klay Thompson has now missed back-to-back seasons with separate injuries. This is a team that a few years ago was making the finals every single year, to having lottery picks in the past 2 drafts, but they've gotten healthy and reloaded this roster, so man should it be fun. Curry's playing at an MVP level. We need to give him his credit. He's coming off a career high season statistically, leading a team to the play-in that had Andrew Wiggins as its second best player, and guys like Brad Wanamaker getting significant run. Klay is back, as we said. Draymond, despite being a Ben Simmons caliber scorer, still brings an insane amount of value with his playmaking and defense that's only going to be enhanced by having the Splash Brothers back together. Andrew Wiggins got bullied into the shot, so he's now playing the whole season. We need to wipe away our preconceived notions about the former #1 pick. This isn't the player we saw in his 7 seasons in Minnesota. He's coming off a year where he was a legitimate two-way threat, averaging 19 points, shooting with career-high efficiency of 48% from the field and 38% from 3. They still have Kevon Looney, who at the least is going to be a serviceable big man if James Wiseman isn't able to make the jump we are hoping. If Wiseman is able to take that jump, especially defensively, I don't think we realize how high this team's ceiling is. They loaded up with veteran talent, getting one of my favorite offseason additions given the price in Otto Porter Jr., who's going to bring this team a very consistent 3-and-D presence. He already showed that in the first preseason game, scoring 19 points on 4 for 7 from 3. They also brought in Andre Iguodala and Avery Bradley, not guys I expect to make a huge impact, but great additions for a team that's depending on so many young guys. They also had 2 lottery picks in the recent draft, where they got Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. It's hard to say what their roles are going to be, but it just adds more upside to this team. The real X factor and the focus of this video, though, is 6'5" shooting guard Jordan Poole. Poole came out of high school as the 51st recruit in the country and decided to go to the University of Michigan. He would play 2 seasons there, and as a sophomore, averaged 13 points, shooting 37% from 3. That was good enough for the Warriors to take him with the 28th overall pick in the 2019 draft. As a rookie, it was flat out ugly. He would appear in 57 games and start in 14, averaging 9 points, shooting 33% from the field and 28% from 3, which is honestly just impressively bad. During that season, he even had a small stint in the G League, but looked way too good for that level of competition, averaging 26 points, 5 assists and 6 rebounds, shooting 42% from 3 on 9 attempts a game. It was looking like he was going to be one of those players that was way too good for the G League, but couldn't put it together under the bright lights. But now, it's looking like that's not going to be the case. This past season, he really stepped up. He averaged 12 points, shooting 43% from the field and 35% from 3. But that doesn't tell the full story. I think the biggest thing we saw from him was potential. He had a 10-game stretch in the middle of this season where he averaged 20 points, shooting 41% from 3. He ended the season with a 6-game stretch, averaging 21 points, again, shooting over 40% from 3. That stretch included a 38-point performance. Following the conclusion of the season, head coach Steve Kerr already envisioned Poole's future role, as he said, he's really explosive. We look ahead, and I think he's going to be a 6-man. He's really capable of getting 20 any night. It's great to have scoring off the bench. But with Klay Thompson not returning to start the season, this team is going to have to count on Poole more than they initially expected. But Kerr is more confident than ever in him, and that's a quote. He also said, "We were in a position with Jordan a year ago where we weren't sure if he was going to be able to contribute, but through hard work and patience, he put himself in a position where he's going to be a huge part of this team." He's been our most consistent worker for 2 years now. You could see the confidence level. He's shooting shots with ease that maybe he struggled with a couple years ago because his body is stronger, more fit, and more fluid. Now, all this praise was from a few days ago, so at the time, there wasn't much to take from it. What coach isn't talking positively about its players? But for Poole to go out, and in the first preseason game, back it all up, really makes these statements interesting to look back at. Now, this is preseason. We need to take everything with a grain of salt, but Poole was able to start the year off with 30 points, 5 rebounds and 5 assists, shooting 10 for 17 from the field and 7 for 13 from 3. Following this extremely impressive performance, Kerr said, "This is what he looked like in camp. Not hesitating. He's getting to the rim, playing with unbelievable confidence. He's earned that confidence." A lot of the times with these situations, I don't really look into it, but I really think this one's legit. Do I think he's going to be out there averaging 20 plus a night? Absolutely not. But for a guy that already showed what he's capable of last season, then gets a ton of praise throughout the offseason from his teammates and coaches, and he backs that up in the very first game back, regardless if that's the preseason, it's impressive, and I think he's going to be a serious problem. I also really like his attitude to this situation. He seems confident, ready to step up in the absence of Klay, but understands what this team is trying to do this season. Following his 30 points, he said, "Coach just gives us the opportunity to do what we do in practice. They wanted me to be aggressive. Coach wants me to go out there, and if I'm open, shoot it. He kind of let me know that last season. It's just taking the momentum I had last year and expanding my range a little bit." It's hard not to root for him given how rough the start of his career was. So it's looking like, to begin the season, he's going to be in the starting lineup alongside Stephen Curry. Something that I don't think would be ideal down the stretch, given his struggles on the defensive end, but might set things up pretty nicely. If he looks anything like he did last night, it's going to give them the opportunity to not rush the return of Klay Thompson while expanding the quickly growing confidence of Poole. I think one of my favorite things about him is his ability to be a ball in the hands scoring threat at all 3 levels if needed, but also thrives playing off ball, something every player in this offense needs to be able to do. Let's just assume Klay comes back and he's 80% of the player we've come to know. They could be going into a playoff series with a starting lineup of Curry, Klay, Wiggins, Draymond, and Kevon Looney, with Poole as the 6th man and a great rotational piece in Otto Porter. That's not even taking into account the upside we mentioned that comes with guys like Wiseman, Moses Moody, and Jonathan Kuminga. Oh, and we haven't even mentioned the fact that there's still some crazy trade opportunities, but that doesn't have to happen for this team to still be a serious threat to bring down the net once again. Me being the degenerate gambler that I am, I can't help myself but throwing down some at their title odds of 11-1. Now, I want to make it very clear, I don't think they should be in the same conversation as the Brooklyn Nets or Los Angeles Lakers when it comes to title odds, but those teams are at 2-1 and 4-1, both of which I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole given the injuries we saw from both of them this past season. I like how Jordan Poole put it. I think it's going to be a really exciting year. We're going to be back to pretty healthy. We got Klay coming back. We got James Wiseman coming back. We added a lot of vets in the offseason. We're going to find a way to put the pieces together and try to have that championship contending season that we all want. It's going to be exciting. But that's the video, guys. You guys tell me your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.